All right, let's jump into this. This is a market update for September 2022. Now, what my team and I have been surprised with is how drastic and sudden the market has changed within just the past 2 months. And so I have good news for you that are in the market to buy a home. All right. Now, if someone is selling the home, that's going to be a different story because that seller's peak, the height of the market, that was 6 months ago. And we're not seeing a gazillion offers and $100,000 over ask price. So I'm going to give you some information, some key parameters and details and strategy leading into the end of this year where the stars are aligning to make it the perfect opportunity for you to buy the best home for you and achieve those goals. So first and foremost, because of the interest rate hike and jump, and then also how that has had a ripple effect along the economy, a lot of the buyer demand has just tapped pause. Now that doesn't mean people no longer want to move or change their living circumstance. They're just hitting a hard pause just to see how things shake down. Now the biggest point of pain and concern over the past 18 months were that of buyers. Buyers were saying, for the life of me, I can't buy a home because builders were doing some type of crazy lottery system. Not only that, but whenever you were under contract with a builder, 6 to 9 months in, guess what the builders were doing? They were jacking up the prices because of the so-called increase in lumber costs and material costs. And we saw poor families getting slapped with a $50,000 to $75,000 price increase after they were already in contract. Not only that, but we saw such a shortage of demand of homes for sale that buyers were scrambling, kind of like a feeding frenzy. Whenever new homes hit the market, there would be 15, 30 offers that turned into a bidding war, and only one person won, and that means the other 29 families walked away disappointed. Even after they gave non-refundable deposits, they were waiving the inspection contingency. They were also covering any gap in appraisal. And what we found were the buyers with cash or stronger financing, generally speaking conventional loans, were winning these bids, and all the other buyers didn't have a chance. And so buyer fatigue took place, which meant after getting outbid on 4 or 5, 6 contracts, the buyers would say, hey, you know what? I'm just beat up and burnt out. We're going to take a seat in the stands and revisit this market later because this is just too out of control. We don't want to participate in this market. All the meanwhile, the interest rates were still ridiculously low. Now that the rates have jumped, that's been like a fire hose on this out of control real estate market. And a lot of people believe it's in a good way, especially if you're a buyer. And so these are the signs and the symptoms that we've seen over the past 2 months that have changed things drastically, and why this may be a perfect opportunity for not only you to get a fair deal, but also get a wonderful property. See, what buyers were sacrificing the past 2 years were not necessarily fair deals, and they were having to settle on a property that they can just get. But where you're going to have to give a little bit is on the rate. And I'll help you work through the strategy on justifying locking in at the higher rates right now and locking in the deal and the home that you want. A couple of the key indicators that we're seeing right now is the fact that builders have now brought incentives back to the table. They're no longer having multiple bids or a lottery system. Builders are no longer limiting sales per month. They've opened the floodgates and they say, if you want to buy a home, come on in and buy a home. They're also offering to pay a portion of closing costs, maybe credits to the design center, maybe interest rate buy downs, which is a fantastic strategy if that's important to you. Builders are also offering bonuses to real estate agents. So when builders need more business, the public generally doesn't know this, but they will offer an additional bonus for the agents that actually bring the right family to find the perfect home for them. In the past 2-3 years, there have been no bonuses. Now over the past 2 months, there are bonuses. This means builders want business and the market dynamics have changed in favor for you buyers. Now remember, each real estate market is hyper-local, and we believe here in Northeast Florida, there's so many things going for it that's different for the rest of the country. So even if the overall overarching economy slows down, which it has, and it will continue, we in Northeast Florida, especially St. Johns County, we don't foresee demand going away forever. We believe there are families from out of state and out of town that want to live in the state of Florida for many reasons: no state income tax, the weather, cost of living, and also the politics. Let's just call it what it is. There's a lot of families flooding to the state because of the political atmosphere. Now, St. Johns County specifically is within 15 to 20 minutes to the beach, the Atlantic Ocean. We're nestled right there along the St. Johns River, which is stunning. And then also, it's got some of the best public schools in the state of Florida and the southeast of the entire country. When I hear from buyers that text me, call me, email me, people just like you in your same exact situation, they say, you know what? We're done with everything that's going on where we are. So we know we're going to move to Florida, and we just typed in best school zones in the state of Florida, and that's how they found St. Johns County. So because of all of those factors, I believe buyer demand in this very short window of time has just tapped pause. But in the grand scheme of 1 year, 3 year, 5, 7, 10, 15 years, I believe St. Johns County in Florida has so much going for it that the growth and the desirability and the expansion is inevitable. I'm incredibly confident that here specifically is unique versus the rest of the country and the larger economic picture. Yes, sales have slowed down. Interest rates have climbed. I personally don't believe that interest rates are going to stay high for a very long amount of time. I also believe that once people become more familiar and more numb and more used to hearing about rates where they are, it will become part of the normal everyday life, and people will still decide to move forward with their plans moving to Florida. So where are we right now? We're in this little window of time, if my hypothesis stands up to time. We're in this window where buyers have a huge selection of wonderful properties. They can pick the best of the best, the cream of the crop. So they can get their number one choice when it comes to location, builder, lot, finishes, all of the stuff. And they get incentives on top of that. Closing costs, interest rate buy downs, credits towards the design center. And they don't have to compete against other buyers. So now let's talk about locking in at the higher rates. I know it's painful. Rates are double than that of what they were just a few months ago. That's incredibly painful. But keep in mind, what we're finding other buyers are doing is they're just biting the bullet and buying the home at the current market rate with the intent of a year from now or 2 years from now, whenever rates come back down, that they'll refinance out of that higher rate into a lower one. So they can have their cake and eat it too. They're just going to have to feel a little of that pain until the rates drop down a little bit. You've heard the saying, marry the home, but date the rate. And that's exactly what this strategy is. Get the home and the property that is perfect for you, knowing that in the future, when rates change, you can refinance to a lower one. So to land the plane here, you're asking me, so Josh, can you summarize all this? Yes. If you're serious about moving to St. Johns County, now is a wonderful time with a huge selection of great properties at good prices and good incentives. So I would say schedule your trips, especially leading into these next 3 months, October, November, December, primarily because of this. That's the end of most builders' fiscal year. And so those shareholders are looking for them to hit their numbers on their books. And what we tend to see, builders will offer incredible incentives, incredible deals like fire sales, especially on homes that can close quickly within their fiscal year. So if you're going to jump on this, you should be prepared to make a decision, write a contract, and close within the next 2 to 3 months. So I'd recommend, before there's a mad rush of everyone else finding out about this, go ahead and schedule your trips to town early now, and that way you can choose the best of the best. No other team has helped more families with new construction than our team over the past 6 years. We can make this process incredibly easy for you and do a lot of legwork in preparation for your visit. So just reach out to us, text me. The information is below in the description. Send me a quick text. We get text from you every day and we love it. And I love dialoguing through your strategies, your goals, your plans, and then giving you a short list of the best options. So when you come in town, you go to the best places first. Let me know the questions you have in the comment selection, and I'll leave you with this. Generally, after a family moves here to St. Johns County, like 6 months after they get settled in their new home, I like to ask them, and I'll say, hey, if you were to do it all over again, would you make the move? Is this what you expected? And 10 out of 10 families say these two things. Josh, it's better than I imagined, and we wish we would have done it sooner. So I want you to be confident and excited in your decision. You're going to love it here. And hey, at the end of the day, if you don't, you can always move back. But I asked that third question, and 10 out of 10 said, no chance would I ever move back. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you in the next video.